Hey everyone, welcome along to a brand new T999 Tech video where today we're taking a look at what could be the best value Xbox and PC controller on the market. It's the Turtle Beach Recon Controller. In the UK it's around the same price as buying an official Xbox wireless controller, but offers so many more benefits. Let's find out exactly what all of those are, putting it to the test, and thanks to Turtle Beach for sending these through to me. So the controllers come in both the black edition and the white, but what we need to know is how these actually feel in comparison to an official Xbox wireless controller or those more expensive models such as the Xbox Elite controller. So let's get into one of these and see exactly what you are getting for your money. So we can see from the front of the box, this is pretty much officially licensed for the Xbox. It comes with fatigue-free ergonomics and superhuman hearing. Lots of different buttons on here for the sound and the different elements that you can add in for the changes in the settings. On his side, it just says designed for Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, and Windows 10. Hear everything, defeat everyone. So the Turtle Beach Audio Advantage, superhuman hearing, ergonomic cooling grips, and the Pro Aim Focus mode, which it looks like buttons on the rear. 2 mappable quick action buttons, which is obviously these two. Vibration feedback, 4 Turtle Beach signature presets, 3.5mm headset connection, mic monitoring, responsive controls, and it connects via the USB cable, which you get a 3-meter USB cable included in here as well. But enough of the outer box, it is time to get inside and see what this actually feels like. Looking forward to this, actually. Looks pretty good. Looks very similar to a normal controller. Okay, here we go. Put the box down below. Pamphlet with obviously all of the information in that you would need for there, giving you all the instructions, which we're going to touch on in a moment. And there it is. The controller actually looks really, really nice. The lead, obviously, is coming in a separate packaging. That is just going to be your standard USB cable. 3 meters, as I said, and then the controller itself. Okay, let's get this initial feel out of the way. Okay. It's light. In comparison to what I use at the moment, the Elite 2, it's very light, but that is because there's no batteries in this, and it feels okay. I mean, that isn't too bad at all. The buttons all feel pretty solid. And across the top here, you've got your volume controls, chat controls, and then the superhuman hearing, the mode, the different select button, and then the mute button as well, which obviously will light up down here. So these aren't actually too bad. The buttons on here also have like a grip effect to them. So that's quite a nice touch and feature to that. That's on both the left trigger, right trigger, and obviously the LB and RB buttons. And they've also got that grip on these back buttons as well, which you can program these as P1 and P2. Now, I normally only use 2 rear buttons on the Elite, so that's actually pretty cool that they're actually there. That's going to be a big difference to your normal Xbox controller. It feels a little bit plasticky, but actually I don't think that's such a bad thing, because at the end of the day you want the controller to be quite light in your hands. The thumbsticks, yeah, they feel pretty solid, but the proof in the pudding will be actually gameplay. So I'm going to quickly unbox the black one, show that on camera here, and then we'll get into some gameplay and see exactly what these are like when it comes to playing with them in a game like Call of Duty Warzone. So there is the black one. Of course, very similar. Doesn't feel, or doesn't look, I think the black on black actually helps it from a look and feel perspective, that it doesn't have that plasticky feel that I think the white one had. So out of the two, I definitely think the black one is my preferred go-to. Let's get them side by side. The big question is how do they play?
Yeah, well, wow. Alright. And another. One's on roof and one's in tower building, boys. Movement! Sit down. Right, let's get it. Shiva, this way. There we go. Movement! Proper prison. Helicopter incoming. Ow! Going. Going, people. Coming something down in.
So the controllers themselves are pretty much the standard shape and size that you would see from an official Xbox controller. I mean, here they are side by side. No real kind of like difference. The only real probable difference is the weight. And obviously all the additional buttons that you get. But overall, if you put these next to each other, they are pretty much spot on to how and what you would expect from an Xbox controller. The only real difference is if you then maybe compared it to the Elite Series 2, I mean, this is probably 3 to 4 times as heavy as this. But that's one of the main features of this controller. So yeah, overall, really impressed actually by the shapings and the feel of in hand. Seems very comfortable. The specific grips that they've added here definitely are going to help, especially when you get into those proper sweaty moments in a first-person shooter. You make sure you don't slip, which you may get sometimes, but obviously Xbox have also added in like a feature here. And if you take that feature of the most recent controllers and take that and then think to yourself, well, actually, you've got that on these buttons, I think this is a really nice touch. Adding that to all of these buttons here, you can hear it. So it's on RB and RT, and obviously LB and LT as well. That nice feature to make sure your fingers don't slip. You don't have that. You have a little bit of that on the analog thumbsticks, but that's what you would normally get from a standard controller. No difference there. It's not on the D-pad, and it's not on any of the buttons up here. These are all just basically standard plastic and shiny. But you do have it on these rear buttons as well, which again will massively aid making sure that your fingers don't slip. And you can make sure you press the buttons as best as possible when you need to. So setting up the controller is pretty simple. You plug it straight into the PC or your Xbox, that powers the controller. All the normal buttons that you would expect do what they would expect them to do, and then you've got all of these additional buttons at the top. It's very simple though to actually program these. You've got your superhuman hearing if you actually plug in a headset into the 3.5mm jack on the bottom, and then you can obviously choose between the different settings of that, whether it is just off, low, medium, high, or maximum. You then also have the equalizer that you can change. These offer signature sound, bass boost, bass and treble boost, and also a vocal boost. And then these will be basically the little highlights here on these 4 different areas here will highlight which one you've selected. Then for me, the most important part of this controller, based on the value that you've got for it, is the 2 rear buttons here. And this is where you can make a massive difference to your gameplay, and programming these is simple as well. You literally do it like this. You hold, you press mode, make sure the light comes on for the controller, you then hold down select. For 2 seconds, it starts to flash. You click the button on the back that you want to program, so let's say that one, and then you click the button that you want to program it to. I will program that to X. You then hold down select for a couple of seconds, and it's as simple as that. You also then can change another thing which I really like on this. If you change the mode again once again to this crosshair, this is actually for another feature on the controller, and actually helps with, if you wanted to, you can utilize the rear button, the P2 button here, to make your right thumbstick sensitivity higher or lower. So you can obviously set it to off, low, medium, high, or maximum. Another great addition, especially for first-person shooters, where you can change how much movement you get from the right thumbstick, which is of course very significant when it comes to aiming your weapons down sight. So all in all, outside of the volume and chat, which I haven't really touched on again because that's just set to the headset options, I'm really impressed with this controller for the price and what you're getting. The biggest difference for me and the biggest kind of like element for me are these 2 back buttons and rear buttons. That's what makes the Elite stand out. Now this might not have the weight of the Elite and maybe not the build quality of it, but for the price that you're paying, which is actually less than a standard Xbox wireless controller, this thing is extremely impressive. And I've got to say, if you are a first-person shooter or more of a competitive gamer, and you don't have the budget to go down the route of a SCUF controller or one of those Xbox Elites, which are going to cost you over £150 here in the UK, this by far is fantastic. I'm going to use it a bit more because the footage I've got here isn't fantastic, because I'm not actually in my most comfortable position when gaming. Normally I've got the controller probably underneath the desk and I'm leaning forwards, whereas for this video and the filming of this, I've actually held it on the kind of like the desktop so you can see exactly what I was doing and how simple it is. But yeah, really like this. I'm kind of growing on the white one now that I've seen it a little bit more after my first impression. Maybe it's the little shine to it that was kind of like making me feel a little bit off, and maybe just felt a little bit matte and plasticky here. But overall, if it works as well, obviously it will work as well as the black one. But you know what? I really like these controllers. I think Turtle Beach have done a fantastic job and given the consumer a great introductory option for buying a controller with the additional benefits to be more competitive in gaming. So Turtle Beach, firstly, thank you for sending these through to me. And secondly, thank you for letting me be honest about this and basically saying what I want to say. And do you know what? I'm actually looking forward to using these a bit more. I use my controller wired anyway, even though I've got wireless controllers at the moment. Like if you were going to say compare it to this, I mean, that is what I would normally use, but the weight of that is like about 3 times as heavy. So if you never held an Elite Series 2, you won't know, but in comparison to the normal controller, as I say, there's a little bit of a weight difference to it, but you've got to remember this has got batteries in it as well and different power elements to it. So yeah, I am very impressed, Turtle Beach, with this Recon controller. I think once people get hands-on, they're going to really appreciate and understand how good these are. I'll keep using it. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and giving you an insight into what these are actually like and what they're all about. Here is a little bit of a breakdown for you, which you get in the instructions as to kind of like all the different options and the modes. So it's very simple to set up, very easy to cycle through the different modes, whether you're looking at the headset superhuman hearing, the equalizer, the way that the buttons are set up, or obviously the right thumbstick sensitivity as well, of that precise aim. And again, in the instructions, it's all set out really simply as to how to set all these up, whether you're plugging into a PC or an Xbox, and then going through the very simple 3 to 5 steps, getting those done for the quick action buttons, and then your pro aim, which can also be sensitivity, which we touched on already, so you can check and select how sensitive you want that to be. So yeah, Turtle Beach, congratulations on these. I'm very impressed. Look forward to using them more. Until the next video, hope you've enjoyed this one. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Let me know why down below. And until the next one, stay safe, and I'll speak to you again very soon in the next one.